Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. And welcome to yet another kind of terrible week in the world as we know it. I'm sure that I don't have to go into very much detail if you pay attention to current events and have any sort of presence on social media, but things are once again very bad. Have they stopped being very bad? I don't really think so. I mean, obviously, as we have been discussing here, there are little bright moments in every single day, and that is something that we are trying to practice as a whole, to stay present and acknowledge those beautiful little moments. But it is often very difficult to focus on the little precious moments when the world at large is quite literally at war, and unfortunately that is the case for the current situation. I am not going to go into any real detail about what is happening in Ukraine, other than just to say that, you know, my heart and my mind and everything about my current being is with the people of Ukraine as they are thrust into this war, this absolutely thoughtless, unprovoked, horrible, horrible war. However, if you are feeling compelled and you want to know more, or you want to know how you can help, I will be linking a whole bunch of resources in my description box down below, because this is a crisis that is far from over, and by the time this video goes up, it's definitely not even going to be close to being over. Who knows how long this will go on for, but needless to say, the people of Ukraine need our help. We're all going to get dragged into this in one way or another, so I hope that in spite of everything that is happening, you and yours are just staying safe and well, and you are trying to take some, you know, moments of self-care and self-love and rest and enjoy one another, because you really never know how much time you have before your entire world is shattered and thrust into a situation like this. So it really reminds us not to take things for granted, and that here in, you know, North America, we live very, very, very privileged lives. And again, if you have any means to do so, if you're feeling compelled to do something, I will be linking a whole bunch of resources in the description box down below today if you would like to take action. And these are just resources that I have found. Obviously, I highly encourage you to go out and do your own research and educate yourself and find the outlets that speak the most to you in terms of how you can help, because obviously it's one thing to just donate money, it's another thing if you can find something actionable that speaks more to your personal situation. Anywho, that is a very long-winded intro, but I did feel compelled at least to briefly talk about what's happening in the world, because that is part of this channel, is having those real conversations, and we never, ever, ever will ignore what is happening in the wider world, because that is not real girl shit. Real girl shit is fully confronting everything that happens in the micro and macrocosms, and unfortunately in the macrocosm, that is war. So today, to combat the fact that everything is bad, we are just going to dive right into some magical escapism, which is something that we also like to do here. Magical escapism and makeup. And as you can see by my very different backdrop today, I am already fully immersed in that. I have gotten myself into the move and groove, and I am going to be kind of expanding on a cosplay look that I did middle of February in response to the new Lord of the Rings series that will be coming out on Amazon Prime. I think it's in September. It's called The Rings of Power, and this is like prior to, you know, The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. I'm very, very excited because that's my shit. And like many other kind of cosplayers and fringe cosplayers, I would be more considered fringe. I'm not too hardcore as much as I would like to be. Many people kind of jumped on the wagon and made their own character posters. So I got really excited about that and decided to put together a character poster for myself, and I will insert the pictures here. They are also kind of in my thumbnail if you paid much attention to that before clicking. Hopefully that's what made you click into this video if you're new. But I'm going to be expanding on that because in the character poster you're really only seeing from like the collarbone to about the hip. So I want to do the top of what that look would be, which includes this gorgeous, gorgeous new headband that I treated myself to, because honestly, a no buy is just not working for me very well. I'm more of a low buy, so this was nowhere near necessary. I admitted to the purchase to my significant other. We both had some purchases, but you know, things are really bad, as I said, and sometimes you just maybe need to spend money and make yourself feel a little bit better. I'm not saying that that's the right approach or the right solution for how to manage your emotions. We have talked about that too before, but nevertheless, that is what I did. Bought myself this gorgeous headband, and I will link it down below if you are also interested in a beautiful, chunky velvet hairband yourself. I would highly recommend it, and it's not too uncomfortable. I'm not great at wearing headbands because I get headaches, but this one I've been basically wearing all day and feel pretty good. And then I curled my hair, and I've got a little dress on. And then we are going to do some makeup a la Fae. Fae being F-A-E, the people of fairy, the fair folk. The ones under the mountains. Perhaps I am an elf in this characterization. Perhaps I am actually a fairy, perhaps a wood nymph. I'm not really sure, but the star of the show to create the look that will match my garb in the background is this gorgeous Flower Beauty Jungle Lights palette, which I have not yet played with on my channel. It's just kind of been sitting in my makeup collection. I wasn't really sure how to approach the use of this palette on my channel because I pretty much play it safe. There's been a few instances where we've gotten a little bit more creative, but this palette I was completely influenced to purchase thanks to Hannah Louise posted. And again, it's been sitting in my collection for a while, but just look at that. Look at that. And this green is really where we're going to lean heavily into today. The green is called Anaconda, and I mean, look at that. Look at that. It's just absolutely a stunning shade. And I have some other greens in my collection, mostly shimmery greens, which is interesting. I don't think I really have any matte greens, but one of the other greens, and I believe I used this almost a year ago now, and I was doing like a spring look, is called Myth, and it's a pressed eyeshadow from Alima Pure. The lights here are kind of washing it out a little bit, but it's more of a mossy green and not anywhere near as shimmery. It's, I would say, more of like a satin. Also quite beautiful, but I'm not sure if I will use this today. It's very similar in tone, but because it doesn't have those like really intense shimmers in it like the Flower Beauty does, it appears to be quite darker. But I think I'm just gonna get into it. We're just going to kind of let our creativity flow, and then we're going to get into full costume. There is a corset, there is a knife, there is a sword, there are dried flowers. I will be a full fairy queen when we are done today. And hopefully this will assist us in, you know, having this moment of magical escapism just for a little bit. So shall we dig right in? I've got a few other new products here, which again, no, I know, blah, 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 blah. Another thing that I was completely influenced into purchasing is the Face Glaze from In Beauty. My girl Khaki has been using it, and I believe she was inspired, or influenced rather, into purchasing this thanks to Ingrid Nilsson, our long lost YouTube sister, who is now doing many other wonderful things. And I believe I've mentioned it before. She is behind that gorgeous candle that I burned through way too quickly. The Usual. So delicious. And actually, The Usual and In Beauty have a little collab going right now. I think you get The Usual and In Beauty's new lip oil. It's one of those like cookie dough scented lip products, which I really want to get my hands on, but I didn't need another candle, so I didn't purchase that. But this is gorgeous. It has a teeny tiny bit of a tint to it, but is predominantly to be used to blur the skin and make you glow. And normally I wouldn't go for such an intense shine on my skin, but because we're going for that kind of like fairy queen vibe, fairy queen in battle vibe, you know, there's some magic here. I think the extra glow is perfectly acceptable, and it's not really that intense because my skincare has already been sitting on my face for quite a while, so everything was really absorbed already. So that just succeeded in giving me a little boost. I'm not mad about it. I really like it. And we're going to just go in today in terms of complexion products with my Merit Complexion Stick in Camel and the Emma Beauty Stay Woke Concealer in T1 Honey Honey. Just to cover up blemishes and the very tired eyes. That is not something I had to worry about in that character poster because you couldn't see my face. I don't even think I did my makeup that day. I'm gonna just blend that out, and then I might go in with the Emma Beauty. I'm not sure if I'll use it. I just brought it out in case I needed something else, but we're not going overly intense on the complexion products. And because of the way that I have my setup today, the lighting is obviously a little bit different, but it's all for the mood. Okay, actually I'm gonna go in with the Emma Beauty just to further help camouflage some of these more stubborn blemishes. I think I mentioned in my last video, or I may have actually cut it out, but girl is getting some hormonal acne. I'm a week from turning 32. Can I just have a rest? You know? Oh, there's a big chunky in there. Get out. Can I please just have a rest? Give me a break. All right, eyebrows. Another thing I picked up because I am almost finished my soap brows, the like actual soap brows product. It's really been bothering me. I don't know, it's just not working the same anymore. And so I wanted something that was very similar to the Got to Be Glued, but was just a little bit easier to use and a little bit more portable. So I picked up the NYX Brow Glue, and I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. But I'm gonna go in first with my Kosas Air Brow in the shade Medium Brown because my bangs are back, so I may as well do something with the eyebrows. Something just a little bit more. I'm not gonna go in with a pencil or anything because who has the time? And I certainly do not have the willpower. But just a little bit of a darker brow because it will match the drama and the eye look is going to be more dramatic than I'm used to. Well, on a normal basis. During playtime, things get wild. And then I'm gonna just go over top of that with the NYX Brow Glue, just for some extra hold. Because, you know, if I was doing like an actual cosplay and going somewhere in this, I would really want my eyebrows to stick. This evening, that's not gonna be so much of an issue because it's nighttime and I'm gonna be going to bed and this is all gonna get washed off. But I have been using just the brow glue for the past week and I don't mind the hold. It's okay. Honestly, one of the best brow gels, like just straight brow gels that I've really ever used is the Nude Sticks one. Did you notice my goblet? So on theme. I am a queen. I'm just not really supporting Nude Sticks anymore. I don't know. I feel weird about supporting their brand. Maybe I can reevaluate that at a later time. But anyways, brows done. Perfect. Then we're just gonna go very basic on the bronzer because duh, which means I'm just once again Nothing new here, going into my Lily Lolo bronzer in Montego Bay. The pan is really revealing itself. Very exciting things. Love it. Love it so much. And because, again, my bangs are back, the forehead is actually important. See, the brows actually make such a difference, and with this like big poofy headband, having just a little bit of a more darker structured brow is actually such a gorgeous look. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna go across the nose. I really do like this bronzer. I never expected to like it as much as I do. And it's a lot dustier than the Kosas bronzer, which I did really love, but I had to get rid of it because it hard panned so aggressively, and it was causing me way too much trouble that I got rid of it. I may revisit that product one day, but this one from Lily Lolo is just truly lovely, and it's a perfect shade for me. Now, the question is, do I go into my crease with this, or do I use... As I contemplate, I'm gonna just add some lip chap here because I have this one spot on my lip where the skin just like TMI ripped right off, and it's been like bleeding all week. Just really freaking over the winter. Okay, you know what? I'll put the Lily Lolo away. We'll just maximize the products being used here today. And I'm gonna go in to my crease with my REM Beauty, and that's probably way too much. REM Beauty, what is this called? Liquid eyeshadow in TTYL. I do really like this product, and I use it often, and I like the fact that it's just like nice and compact. It's perfect shade. It's perfect, perfect, perfect. So I just gave myself a little dot in the crease, and I'm just blending that out with a nice fluffy brush. Probably too much product though. It's very pigmented, and it is very spreadable. I'm just gonna wipe the brush off and just go back in. But this is just truly a crease shade today, and it's not overly important because we're going to be mostly covering that with a lot of the Flower Beauty Jungle Lights shades. I really want to listen to the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, but I'm still such a teeny tiny micro channel, it doesn't matter. But I get so many copyright strikes and I just don't really feel like dealing with that. Okay, now what do I do? Maybe I'll lay down my lower lash line shade as per usual, just to give myself some structure, and then I'm gonna go in with the Jungle Lights. We're just gonna go for it. So again, not a surprise at all, I'm going to go in with my Nude by Nature Natural Illusion pressed eyeshadow in the shade Stone, just like one of my hero products, and I don't really know why. I think I've just grown very attached to it, but it is my go-to for my lower lash line shade when, even like on my no makeup days. It just ends up living on my lower lash line for eternity, and I believe I mentioned this in my last video. It just doesn't work the same on my upper lash line, and I have absolutely no idea why. Not a clue. Not a clue why. It makes absolutely no sense. But it's just what happens. Anyways, I hope everyone is doing okay, and I don't know, we are living in such strange times, and it's just wild to see history repeating itself in ways that I don't think any of us ever expected we would experience firsthand. You know, we learn about war and everything in like history classes in like grade school and high school, and if you study history, then you know, you learn about that in university if that's like part of your like overall program, but you never expect it to hit so close to home. And again, that is a huge part of our privilege here in these societies, is that we don't have those expectations. We live with the idea of war so far from our reach. It's always at more than an arm's length, so the reality of it never really comes crushing down on us. We get the privilege of watching it from afar or watching a video on social media without ever really feeling the impacts. But after a two-year plus global pandemic, and we're seeing, you know, so many insane things happening in the world. We're seeing the cost of living go up. We're seeing the cost of groceries go up. The cost of gas is skyrocketing. And then this war hits, and the trickle down of that is going to affect us deeply, and it already is. And I don't think that people, especially in my generation and the younger generations, I mean, we're like woke to it in some ways, but the expectation really is never for it to hit so close to home. But this one is, and the potential for it to literally hit home is enormous, because we are now in a world where cyber warfare is a current and very real threat, and has already been happening for like 8 years if you have been paying any sort of attention. And you know, there's the threat of nuclear war, and you don't need fighter jets to fly over a country and drop a bomb. You just have to hit send on a missile. It's very terrifying. So that is kind of why today I wanted to just practice some magical escapism. And I think that's okay. But again, I do want us to just be very, very aware and very grateful and very cognizant. That is just a synonym for aware. I want us to be smacked in the face with the understanding that the ability to experience any kind of escapism, to indulge in any kind of escapism, is a huge, huge privilege that so many people in the world don't have access to. That isn't part of their reality, but it is part of our reality. And I think it is completely okay for us to indulge in that, but it has to come with the understanding that being able to turn off or turn away from what is happening in the world is such an enormous, enormous privilege. Anyways, let's continue with the eyes. I don't need to repeating myself, and I'm sure that there's just some people out there who actually kind of need a little bit of a break from everything. And if we can indulge in that together while also, you know, paying our respects and educating ourselves and contributing in any way we can, then, you know, we're doing something at least. Okay, jungle lights. I'm just gonna go right in with Anaconda. I think I'm gonna grab a brush for this. I don't know, do I use a brush? Do I use my fingers? I don't know. Okay, I have this Pro Bullet crease brush, and I'm gonna go in like that. Maybe that's what I should do. I probably just picked up way too much product there. I don't know, but we're gonna start. We're gonna start. Oh my god, it's so pigmented. And again, because of the lights, you might not be able to see it as intensely as I can in this mirror, but like, damn. I'm just going to kind of carve out a shape here. Make kind of a winged shape, which honestly, I should have done this before I put my makeup on my face. And then I'm just kind of blending it out from there. Does that make sense? I didn't really explain that very well. I'm just nervous because this is not really my jam. This is not my expertise, guys. I really love the color of this eyeshadow though, against these green contacts. It's so fucking pretty. Anyways, so I'm just, obviously the concentration of the pigment is in the corner here. Am I going to be able to duplicate this on this eye? Probably not. And then I'm just blending the rest of it out into the full lid and the inner side of the crease. And I do appreciate that these shadows are very blendable. Like, it's just such a stunning formula, and I don't know why Flower Beauty was never, ever, ever on my radar. Like, never. So I'm bringing that shade like really kind of right up to and through the end of my eyebrow, and it's supposed to be that dramatic because we are going for, you know, the fairy look. Okay, I'm going to try to repeat that on this eye, which means I will be right back because I don't think we need to put you through that. Okay, the lighting situation here really does make this, the left eye, look way more severe, but if I like shade this, it is very similar. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to go back in. I'm not going to do lower lash line yet, but we're going to go in now with, I think, this shade, which is Paradise, which is, no, I lied, Amazon. This shade here. It's the shade Amazon, which is this like gorgeous, rich kind of gold. This time I am going to go in with my finger, so I'm just kind of dabbing my finger onto that. And I am now going to go over top that outer corner and up into that space. Just kind of, you know, taking a page out of Hannah Louise Poston's book, where I'm using a glittery shadow to kind of disguise and refract any sort of mistake. And it does really work beautifully, and the gold is so pretty. I love it. Oop. Fully just put my finger down where I should not have. Not paying attention. I'm so distracted. And can you see the like shift? It's very pretty. Pretty, pretty girl. Pretty, pretty bird. You know what? We're just gonna go for it. There's no rules. There's no rules for how much glitter we can or cannot use. I'm gonna go in now onto the lower lash line because why not? What's the holdup? It's just a matter of what brush do I use. Do I use this little Eco Tools brush? I don't know. I feel like maybe I should actually go in with my Alima Pure Myth, even though I said I wasn't sure if I was gonna do that. But because it is not so glittery, and therefore it looks a little darker, I'm gonna get a little bit more of that, I think, definition that I'm craving at the present moment. But I'm just really not sure. I'm not sure what brush to use. You know what? I'm just gonna go in with my e.l.f. smudge brush, which is my all-time favorite lower lash line brush. It is the one that I use always with that Nude by Nature shadow. Not going all the way into the center, I don't think, just really here on the lower corner, lower lash line, outer corner, and up. And because I've added the gold, this Myth shade is actually looking a lot more green. When I was younger, I never really understood how much a lower lash line eyeliner or shadow could like really complete a whole look, but it really helps. The beauty of makeup, the more you know, and you don't know what you don't know. Which is also brings us back full circle to this whole, you know, current world events situation. You don't know what you don't know. Once again, please go educate yourself on what is happening. Because it is not as black and white as like good guy versus bad guy, as much as we would love to think that. It is not as black and white as a fantastical series where magic is involved might lead us to believe, because there is so much nuance in the world. And that brings us back to our conversations about nuance. Look at that. I'm just full circling the shit out of all of it. Incoherently, perhaps, but if you're following along, if you catch my drift, thank you. Thank you for catching it. Okay, there is some fallout happening here. Now I'm gonna go in with that little smudgy brush back into Anaconda. And that is now going to also go onto the lower lash line, just for some added dimension. And I am bringing it quite low, like right into where I have my little under eye creases, because why the heck Why the heck not? In other completely unrelated news, I was thinking, you know, earlier this week and today about my channel and the kind of content that I've been producing and the fact that I literally like haven't done a vlog probably since the like early fall, because I'm just like, I don't understand how people do vlogs in the winter time. What do you do in the winter? I hibernate. I don't go outside unless I literally have an urgent errand to run, or I'm now getting into my car and driving to my boyfriend's house. Otherwise I don't go outside. I'm not a wintertime sports hobbyist. I don't do the outdoors. It's not what I do. What do you do? How do you vlog in the wintertime? Because if I were to vlog right now, it would be me waking up at like 8:30 because I can't function, rolling out of bed, putting on track pants, maybe putting on makeup, rolling straight across the basement room to my desk, working immediately, and then maybe around 10 o'clock being like, ah, goddamn, I'm so hungry. Should have eaten breakfast. And then I work. And then I, you know, get upset about whatever because I'm a Piscean. I'm now going into the shade, actually the shade Paradise, which is this one right here. It's like, I'm gonna call it a blonde champagne. And that is going to go into the inner corner because I'm not shiny enough. And then I'm really going to buff it out right up into the like the nook of my eye. What do you call this? The like inner crease. My eyes are getting a little bit hollowed out as I age, so we're really gonna just use that depth and dimension to my personal advantage, because why not? Aging is so fun. But we're just essentially getting more sparkle. And I'm gonna go in with my finger on that color now and put it up onto the brow bone real estate where I have blown out the other two shades. And then I'm gonna go back into Anaconda with my finger and just give myself a little bit more depth. It applies beautifully with your fingers, by the way. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, my content. I feel like I've just been trying and struggling to create content. I don't want to say struggling, because I've also talked about the fact that like YouTube is one of my kind of like inspirations and it brings me so much joy, blah, blah. I've just been like, oh, have I kind of lost my like groove on being able to talk about, you know, real important things and like real girl shit? And am I just becoming a makeup channel? And there was originally a part of me that sincerely felt, I don't know, like embarrassed about doing a beauty channel, because it was like that people aren't going to take me seriously as an intelligent young woman if I do a beauty channel. And can I just stop myself right there and say how insane that thought process is? Because no, that is not at all the case. There are so many freaking brilliant young women and men who are in the beauty space, and their interest in beauty should never be compared or contrasted to their level of intelligence. Just because we love beauty and makeup and we love to play doesn't mean that we're not just as freaking brilliant as like a NASA scientist. And like, okay, that might be an extreme because I'm probably seriously not as intelligent as a NASA scientist, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I've just kind of been holding myself back a little bit, I think, from getting too deep into the realm of like beauty YouTuber, because I was judging myself while also being afraid of being judged for being a beauty YouTuber, because I wanted to be taken seriously and I didn't want other people to think that I was being dumb, or that I was dumb for taking interest in this, because, you know, I don't have like corporate career goals or some crazy bullshit like that I think only exists in my brain. And so I'm going to be trying to free myself a little bit from that strange, prohibitive thought process in the coming months. I've been trying to be so smart and intelligent in my approach to my content that it's been creating some mental roadblocks for me. All of my videos so far, for the most part, have come very naturally to me, from, you know, the makeup that I play with to the conversations that I have. And I think because I am so tuned into what's happening in the world, I'm always going to have some kind of commentary to bring to the table. There will always be discourse, and I don't need to like shut that off just because I'm interested in beauty. And that was kind of my whole intention of starting this channel, was trying to like blend those two things together. But it's also very okay for me to just kind of sit down some weeks and solely want to play with makeup and solely be in the beauty space. Does this make sense? But that's why, again, today that we're just doing some like magical escapism, because my brain is so full, and I'm sure everyone else's brain is so full, and all I truly want to do is get plucked from this universe and dropped into Middle Earth. Like, where, yes, obviously there is war too, and like orcs, and Sauron, and, you know, all of that shit, but at least there would be magic. Like, I could actually be a fairy and not have to cosplay as a fairy queen, but alas, I am stuck on planet Earth. Okay, I'm happy with where the eyes are at for now, so I'm gonna go off camera, do my mascara, and I'm gonna be using a combination of the REM Beauty lengthening mascara, volumizing mascara, paired with my e.l.f. Big Mood. This is a new tube, very excited. And then I'm gonna come back. We're going to finesse the eyes, maybe just a little bit more. Finish the face, definitely want a little flush, maybe something on the lips, just a little touch of color too. And then we will complete the costume before going off into the woods. Into the thick of it. I'm pretty happy with the eyes, honestly. It's kind of a slightly elevated version of what I did a year ago for my like spring thing. I'm not mad about it. I think it actually looks pretty great. My eyes look big. I feel very pretty, especially with the curls that are not heatless curls like I did last time. These are heated curls on very, very dirty hair, which is why they're sticking. But yeah, I'm digging it. I don't know if I need anything else, honestly, for the eyes. So I think we're just gonna go straight into some extra color on the cheek. And I'm gonna go back in with my e.l.f. Putty blush in the shade Bora Bora, which is just this very bright, fresh pink. And I'm going to be focusing it more on the like outer edge of the apple and kind of more up on the cheekbone rather than kind of more of the center cheek area that I typically use, just to kind of draw the face upwards, you know, a little bit. If I'm an elf, I would be expected, I think, to have like a very narrow face. That's not me. But also I want to be like cute, so a little extra blushy on the nose. You know what? It's my magical fantasy. I'm allowed to do what I want. It's pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay. Now, I do want to give my lips some color, but more of like a kind of just bitten, like I've just eaten some fairy fruit type thing. So I've got these two Dazed and Diffused blurring lipstick pencils from NYX. I don't think I've used these yet on my channel, but there was a video, I feel like it was maybe my mistakes video, which just feels like eons and eons ago, where I was wearing one of these. So I have the shades in Fuego and Day Drink. And I think I'm gonna go with Fuego because it's a little bit orangier and brighter, which is kind of what I'm going for. I know it seems to be, it's like a complete departure from the very like cool toned hot pink I put on my cheeks, but hopefully what I'm going for works out here. So I'm just kind of going straight into the center of my lip here. And because I already put some lip balm on earlier, these are blending very well, but I kind of just want it like literally in the middle. I don't really want it on the outskirts. I kind of want it to, like, even on this side it went too far, but now I have to match it. So like I kind of just want almost like an ombre. Do you see what I'm going for? It's just right in the center of the mouth. The outside of the lips don't really have any pigment. They will start to kind of get some transfer as I talk, but I really wanted the bulk of the color to be concentrated in the middle. And I almost wish that I had less balm on my lips. I should have like taken it off because I think it kind of distracts from what I'm going for. But I think that's exactly what I wanted to do. It's just kind of that like center look, and I like the fact that it's kind of matte and textured again. I don't think I'm going to add any gloss, although I do have one of the In Beauty lip oils, extra glazed and glazed donut. It's phenomenal. It is so deliciously sweet. It truly tastes like a donut. I wish that I had purchased like 1,400 of these, just like I wish that I had purchased 1,400 of the native deodorant in Sugar Cookie. Ugh, just sucking me right in with the sweets. Okay, I'm gonna powder just a teeny tiny bit, and then we are going to get costumed. And I'm using my Bite Beauty powder here. She is so close to being finished. I'm like truly so proud. Such an accomplishment. And I really want to kind of diminish that shine because the eyes are so shiny. There does need to be some diversity in texture and shade on the face here. But I'm really, really happy with how this looks. I think it looks beautiful, if I do say so myself. You know, for like a makeup amateur essentially, I'm really not mad. So I'm going to disappear from this view and we're going to get on the corset first. We'll see. BRB. about you guys, but I think I look pretty cute. Got my little magic rose and my dagger, fully just ready to go and fight those looking to take over the world. What do you guys think? You let me know. You let me know if this is enough magic escapism for you. I'm just in the basement of my house, so there's only so much I could do. And again, if it was like spring or summer or even early fall, I could get out into the forest and feel even more magical and majestic, but alas, this is it. This beautiful, beautiful little corset and this leaf necklace, this bone handle little knife here, just kind of a family heirloom that I love and cherish very deeply. And then my sword back here, which is also wonderful and delightful, but I feel like is not quite fitting for the vibe. I don't know. How would I wear this? With this particular outfit, it would need to be strapped to my back. And I don't have enough arm length. There's not enough arm span to actually withdraw this sword from its sheath. So that's a logistical issue that I need to figure out. But I'm not actually fighting any orcs or dark wizards, so it's okay. Magical escapism, we are all pretending. You know what I mean? I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I do. I'm really honestly feeling myself in this whole little outfit here with this backdrop, and like maybe I need to keep filming like this. This setup is also a lot easier. I don't know. But if you think I did a good job with my little magical escapism Rings of Power cosplay, including the makeup look, which honestly I'm like super enjoying, give me a big thumbs up. And if you're new here and you watch this whole video, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button and become part of the Land Band, because I think we have a lot of fun here, and sometimes it gets a little serious, sometimes it gets a little playful, sometimes we play The Sims and just completely check out of the real world. Okay, that is everything from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.